Christine Hedlund is the publisher of Phoenix Woman magazine, which will celebrate its one-year anniversary this November.
Dropped out of high school in my senior year of high school, pregnant, and got married, had 3 kids, lived on a farm, and ended up divorced. Here I had no high school education, no college education, and went on to build a career just by being very tenacious.
Probably should have had a little bit more color through here.
Whatever is put in front of her, she figures out a way to make it happen. For instance, just being in the publishing business. She has no specific background for being the publisher of a magazine. And yet she has taken that on, learned how to do it. It's been very successful.
Christine learned the value of hard work in a job you may not even realize existed.
And I thought this turned out pretty well.
I was a potato inspector. Obviously, raising 3 kids, you have more than one job to stay afloat. And so I did radio by day. So I was on the air probably at about 4:30 in the morning. I was on air until 9 a.m. and then I would go out and sell advertising until 5:30. And then I would go and inspect potatoes from about 6 p.m. until about 1 in the morning.
Christine amplifies the voice of all women, as well as helps educate them through Phoenix Woman magazine.
One of the reasons I started the magazine, Phoenix Woman, was because we wanted to have a publication that would help to promote women that really aren't overly promoted in the Valley.
She just keeps finding interesting women in the community and then putting a spotlight on them and showing other women how they can also learn from the lives of these women.
For the past 7 years, she has volunteered with a youth group working with young adults on typical teen problems.
She has done some amazing things in her life. She's overcome some incredible challenges, and I think she exemplifies what it is the Athena Award is all about.
Congratulations, Christine Hedlund. As the founder and director of the nationally accredited Southwest Institute of Healing Arts, K.C. Miller's energy and hard work is transforming lives and helping women and men achieve their dreams.
When you take these steps, you change.
At the time, this was 15 years ago, there were no schools that offered anything other than Western massage. Western massage is a belief that it's the body and the muscles and that's all there is to it. And my belief is that there is this incredible amount of information operating out there. And so I started it in order to provide education for massage therapists. And what began to happen is that we attracted people that had a different way of thinking.
But is she a spiritual leader?
Her school, her relatively small school, has beat out many large colleges for College of the Year through the APSA Association. 3 years. It's almost unheard of.
An expert in holistic healthcare, K.C. Miller is the author of the book, Toe Reading. Are you walking your destined path?
So what I found over the years, I could literally look at your toes and know if you were an introvert or an extrovert. I could know if you were a straight communicator or if you kind of kept everything in your head. And it got to be almost like a fun game. And now I've trained about 300 people to do toe reading all across the United States.
The national exposure landed KC a cameo on the MTV dating show Next.
Ooh, look at these toes, Matt. Are those fabulous?
Though KC likes to have fun, she took things very seriously when another local school suddenly closed its doors and left 40 students out of their education.
I went over and I said, you may come and I will serve you. And I've adopted 25 of the 40 students. They're not paying us a dime because they've already paid.
You've heard of out of the box. Well, she didn't even know where the box is anymore. It's just KC.
It's about mentoring and inspiring and helping people to understand that they all have that great goddess within, and how do they bring that out.
Congratulations, K.C. Miller. Say hello to Patricia Lee Refo. This Athena finalist is an attorney at Snell & Wilmer LLP, Arizona's largest law firm, and was named one of the 50 most influential lawyers in America by the National Law Journal.
You would never sign a contract that you didn't understand.
I was very fortunate as a young lawyer to have an extraordinary mentor, really a generation ahead of me in the law, whose name was Joan Hall. I can never repay her for what she did for me directly, but I work hard to reach out to younger women.
Into bad investments. That's really their theory.
Law practice at the level and the intensity of Tricia's is just by itself a very full-time job. And then she's managed to balance that with a family that includes a young child. That's pretty hard.
My hobby, in a sense, at the moment is my wonderful 7-year-old son. He's a bright, smart, interested child who reminds me every day to stop and pay attention to the things that are really important.
But then she's gone beyond that, and she's done her charitable work and her community work and her work with women's groups and her work doing pro bono work, representing litigants who can't afford a lawyer.
But that's what's required.
Now, that's a really full plate.
For the past 6 years, Patricia has chaired the American Jury Project, which designed and crafted nationwide principles for juries and trials.
We can improve the way in which juries do their work, how we can make jury service more palatable to our citizens and therefore make our citizens more likely to show up when they get that summons in the mail.
Through the Arizona Women's Foundation, Patricia was involved in the Hispanic Mothers and Daughters program. This Agent for Change believes that mentoring requires a large commitment of personal time and a genuine desire to be involved in the lives of others.
There are lots of pathways to success. There's no one right way. Find your own path. Find your own way to success, and find what works the best for you and for your family and for your career. And that's how you'll be successful.
Congratulations, Patricia Refo. Dr. Jill Stamm is the director of the New Directions Institute for Infant Brain Development and a clinical associate professor at Arizona State University in the Psychology in Education department.
Have you done secondary before? New Directions takes neuroscience information about how brains actually develop in little children. We simplify that information, translate it into programs and products that every mom and dad in Arizona and throughout the country would benefit by knowing.
In early childhood education, we had 40 years of longitudinal research that says how important the early years are, but we didn't have the hard science information, and Jill really brought that to educators, to early childhood providers, and to parents.
Dr. Stamm has authored a book, Bright from the Start. She has also taken her research and developed patented brain boxes.
Get the baby's attention and to start tracking with that baby left to right. They're regular items, but they have instructional cards. Each card actually explains why you do a certain activity with a child, what's actually going on in the brain. The power is in the cards, but the magic is in the interaction with the mom and the dad.
Due to Dr. Stamm's influence, 5 women have decided to pursue a PhD in order to continue work on brain development in Arizona.
She has mentored many of these young students at ASU, and they have all become very excited about this field of early care and education and brain development.
Jill has a special needs daughter who has inspired her and has been a catalyst for her passion.
The doctor said she would never walk, she would never talk, and they had encouraged us to institutionalize her, but the bonding had already taken place. There was no way we weren't going to bring Jenny home. When it all looked so bleak in the beginning, I wish I'd known then what I know now.
Congratulations, Dr. Jill Stamm.